So, my thoughts on midwifery. We were led to Mary through many channels that I was starting to get desperate about. I put out it felt like a million inquiries for a midwife. Everyone was booked during the month that we were due. I was starting to feel like maybe midwifery was just not going to happen this time because our son's birth, our first birth, was far from ideal. And kind of turned me off of midwifery in general. I knew I still wanted a natural birth, but I wasn't sure what the chances of that were going to be with an OB. But yeah, as it turns out, we were led directly to Edenway and to Mary. The very first time I called Edenway to see about pricing and about scheduling a consult and talking about insurance coverage and all that kind of stuff, Mary was the one who picked up the phone, and I feel like, as corny as this is, I feel like it was love at first sight. We were meant to be with her, and the second we met with her, I couldn't imagine anybody else being who I wanted to trust my baby with. To say thank you will never, ever be enough. She gave me the strength that I needed to do the things that I did. She gave me back the hopes that I had had for delivering Ben. And with Lily, reinstilled my knowledge that I could trust my body and it wasn't going to steer me wrong. She dedicated hours upon hours to me for prenatal visits, even when she probably didn't have the time and she would rather be anywhere else. I certainly didn't feel anything other than like I was the most important person at that moment. She validated my feelings. She told me the things that I needed to know, gave me the knowledge base that I needed, led us to Melody's birth boot camp class, which was fantastic, and I credit Mary and Melody as a team, as our birth team, to be the reason why we were able to have a completely unattended, accidentally, it was not my fault, I just didn't call anybody in time. So I guess it was my fault, it wasn't Mary's fault. A completely unattended home birth, without freaking out. It was cool, it was an experience, and it was wonderful, and I felt successful afterward. And there wasn't ever a moment of this was wrong or this was bad or oh my gosh, why aren't people here or anything like that. We had the knowledge we needed thanks to Melody and thanks to Mary, and the two of them pushing each other, pushing us in the right direction and pushing us to one or the other depending on the information we needed. And yeah, it was perfect. And this video has been rambling and not at all what I intended for it to be, but that's kind of how I go, and saying thank you isn't enough, and rambling isn't enough, and I could say thank you to Mary and Melody until I'm blue in the face, but Edenway is absolutely the only place I would go ever again if we